you make of the invitation, the polka dots? Any clues here?
Absolutely. The big clue is all of those various colors. A lot of us know now that we're going to see a new iPhone, I think probably called the 5C, that's going to be offered in, I think, 4 or 5 colors, and that's exactly what that's hinting at. You know, we've seen the leaks. A lot of the parts are leaking, you know, in the supply chain in Asia, and that is going to be the big focus of the event. Is this new, you know, plastic-backed iPhone 5C. The big variable being, where does Apple price this, so we can get a sense for exactly how aggressive they're willing to be at going after the mid-tier of the smartphone market.
Of course, Apple's event coming about a week after Samsung's event, which is happening tomorrow, where we're expecting them to announce a new phablet as well as a smartwatch. Is Apple's announcement going to pale in comparison to what Samsung's unveiling tomorrow?
I think it's going to be the other way around. You know, Samsung is going to do this Galaxy Gear watch. We think it's called a smartwatch. But I think that it's going to get a lot of press, a lot of publicity this week. But everybody's really focused on what Apple's going to do on the iPhone side. So I think that, you know, Samsung will have their day in the sun. By the way, Samsung is the one who is really doing their event around the Apple event. Apple's had these events going on for years in September. But I do think that the big story of the month is going to be some new iPhones, something we haven't seen from Apple yet, both color, moving downstream in pricing, and I think this fingerprint sensor is also going to be a big part of the story next week from Apple.
What do you make of the fact that this event's in Cupertino, not in San Francisco, where most of their events have been?
You know, yeah, it does represent a shift. They have been doing, you know, a lot of their things right at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts, right in San Francisco. But I think it allows them to control the whole environment, to control the lists of people who come, and to just keep more control over the demonstration area when they do it in their home base. And I think this is what happens with them long term, especially when they finish building that new spaceship headquarters in Cupertino.
So Apple has long been known for, you know, its fantastic event. Samsung, on the other hand, its latest event sort of flopped. They had, you know, Broadway actors on stage.
Right.
It was sort of, you know, critics said it was really tone deaf. What are you expecting from Samsung tomorrow, and how do they improve on what they did last time?
Well, look, the event they held, you know, that Unpacked event was odd, and everybody thought it was strange. I was there. I thought it was very weird. I think they got enough negative feedback from that. They're going to do something a little more streamlined, a little more simple, hopefully something that really focuses on the functionality of this Galaxy Gear smartwatch, and maybe tells us what's new about the Galaxy Note, the Note 3, because that's what matters. You know, all the artistry around the event is not what's important. What consumers care about is what do these devices do to make my life better, to make it easier. I think Samsung's going to focus on those and less on the pageantry.
Now, speaking of smartphones, we're talking all about Microsoft buying Nokia today. You cover Nokia, you cover BlackBerry, you cover so many of these companies. What do you make of this deal? Are they really going to be stronger together?
So you know what this is? This is Microsoft throwing a life preserver at Nokia before they drowned, but they're doing it in an effort to avoid their own iceberg. Microsoft is heading towards an iceberg with the decline of the PC sector. These companies need each other. So even though I think that, you know, somebody makes a joke about 2 turkeys don't make an eagle, I don't see it that way. I think that there's actually some real hope now for Microsoft, because they know that in order to really put out a great product, you have to control the hardware and the software. We've seen that from Apple. The integration of hardware and software has been a great strength of theirs. And Google, buying Motorola Mobility, now has the same thing. They bring those 2 elements together, the software and the hardware. In order for Microsoft to be successful, you know, in smartphones, tablets, wearable computing, whatever we're going to see next, they know they need to have this integrated hardware-software effort. So I actually am, you know, bullish on this venture, on them buying the devices unit. Although we're probably not going to see anything for a year or so out of it.
Who should lead Microsoft?
You know, I don't know if it's Elop. You know, given what's happened given that he couldn't right the ship at Nokia, I don't think he's the right guy. I'd like to see it be somebody internally. I don't think it has to be a white knight, a big name, somebody that's well known. It has to be somebody that has a vision of the world of technology beyond the PC industry. You know, Steve Jobs referred to the post-PC era. We're in it now. You can see it in the units being sold in smartphones and tablets. You can see it in the emergence of wearable computing. We need somebody with a youthful vision of where those markets are headed to be leading Microsoft. Somebody who's willing to just not even look at the PC side, but is willing to look, you know, really look forward for them.